This is what the vice president's main job should be: to preside over the Senate, but in this way, to constitutionally preside over the Senate, which means day in, day out, when they are in session, discussing proposed legislation that affects state commerce, really interstate commerce. He should be reminding every proposer, every debater, that Congress has a very limited sphere in which to make a single law. The Commerce Clause of the United States Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, logically restricts Congress's power. And when the Senate takes up almost everything now, they're violating it. And let's go back to the Constitution to show why. Article 1, Section 8 is saying that Congress does have the power. It doesn't grant that many powers, 18 in total, and one of them is to regulate, quote, commerce with foreign nations, comma, among the several states, comma, and with the Indian tribes. All three in one neat clause. Why would the framers put them together? Because they act similarly. And let's look at the two that surround the commerce among the states. Well, Indian tribes, there's no way that the U.S. Congress was going to impose laws on the Okanagan, the Mohegan, the Mohawk tribes that existed in the Northeast back in those days. There is no way that with foreign nations that the U.S. Congress was going to regulate shipping within French rivers or Spanish production of lumber. They weren't going to be doing that, nor would they possibly be imposing regulations on states. What this clause is there to do with all three, states, Indian tribes, foreign nations, is to restrict individual states from doing things on their own. Remember, when the Constitution was developed, this was at a time where states were the sole actors. Federal power had almost zero in the first 11 years of this republic. So when states had it upon themselves to make laws, they would vary in their laws. Congress was empowered to be the arbiter of last resort. That's why they were regulating, not imposing. To make regular is so that states would not diverge. And let's bring it to the present day. The present day of regulating would not mean imposing laws. That was not intended for Congress, and it shouldn't be done now. This is a beautiful thing because it helps with unity. The Constitution is a wise document. Its absence of telling everyone what to do is also a unifying document. It allows enclaves that want to follow in the Bernie Sanders mode. You could be Marxist if you want to, just don't impose it on other people. It allows very free market enclaves with almost zero laws to flourish as well, side by side, if you will. I mean, take a look at the difference between Vermont and New Hampshire. Take it to more of an extreme. Vermont seems to want to impose so many things on its own people. If that's what they really want, or if pieces of Vermont, that's more likely, would like that, then they'd have the right to do it. Meanwhile, across the Connecticut River lies New Hampshire, where there'd be very few restrictions coming from the state. Maybe some pieces within the state want to restrict themselves. That's for towns and counties to do. The Constitution is wisely silent about that so that we Americans can flourish in the way we want. It deserves renewed respect. I am Mark Stewart.